welcome to Move Durham. Now it is time for our Friday episode. If you've been with us to this point, you know that means we are going to look back on the week that has been and go through all of the movements from Monday through to Thursday. So I hope you've got the sturdy shoes on and something very sturdy nearby to hold on to. We are going to go straight across to Deborah, who's in Walsingham, and show us some movements.
I love lots of exercises. I like to come to the gym. I like to do spinning classes. I love to get out and about, and I like to do fell walking, play with my grandchildren, and cycle now and again. So I need to keep active to keep doing those things.
Well, I come to the gym about 3 times a week. I like to swim as often as I can, and I do quite a lot of walking because this area is brilliant for country walks and it's really good exercise to walk.
Today we're going to base our workout on gym exercises. So I would just like you to just start marching on the spot. So obviously when you're at home, we don't have treadmills, we don't have exercise bikes, we don't have rowing machines, but we're going to kind of have a go of doing a variation of some of these exercises, but without the machines. So most people, when they're at the gym, they're going to start by warming up, and that's what we're doing now. Just a nice, gentle little warm up, marching on the spot. So we're going to change the exercise and we're going to do a tap behind. Now it doesn't matter if you're standing up or if you're on the chair, you can still do a little bit of a tap behind. So we're just going to, one at a time, take the feet behind and back together, behind and back together. So if you take a look at Val, you can see how she's just tapping those toes back one at a time. If you're sat on a chair where you can't take the feet back, why don't you try tapping the feet forward instead? Okay, so keep those toes going. Now with the opposite arm, we're going to reach forward. So one leg goes back and the opposite arm goes forward. One leg goes back and the opposite goes forward. So this is a little bit like what we would be doing if we were on the cross-trainer machine in the gym. So we're just working arms and legs both at the same time, tapping back and reaching forward. So just make sure you've got plenty of space. And just make sure you're not going to hit anything when you're doing any of these movements. Okay, let's do one more of those. Now just take it back to a march. Excellent. So the next exercise we're going to do is we're going to lift the knees up. So I just want you to steady your balance first of all. This one could be a little bit tricky, and we're just going to take the knees up one at a time and back down. And just be concentrating on getting the balance back in between each exercise. Getting the weight fully on one foot. If you need to, just look around you. Maybe you've got a wall, maybe you've got a chair or something you can hold on to if you need to. Okay, now if this is enough, stay with this. If you can add some arms in, we're going to try and take the same arm to knee, just reaching up. Now I want you to imagine you're climbing the wall. So you're taking hold and you're pulling down. So reach and pull, reach and pull. So we're just climbing up that wall, one at a time. 2 more of those, last one, and let's go back to that little bit of a march. Are you both okay there, ladies? Yes. Excellent. Let's move on to the next exercise. Now take those feet gradually just a little bit wider and hold it there. We're going to do a hamstring curl, which means we're going to take one heel up to our bottom. So we need to shift the weight over onto one side and just bend at the knee, taking the heel back. So make sure you keep those knees pointing down. What we don't want is for the legs to come up like this. So you need the knees down and the heels going back to the bottom. Your body weight's going side to side. So you're shifting and shifting. And again, just take a look at Val's feet. So if you want to, you can still do that exercise sitting down. So you could, if you were sitting down, you could tap the feet across if you don't have enough room to take that heel back. Now let's try and add some arms into this exercise. So as we bring the knees back, push the hands one at a time. Okay, let's do 2 more of those. 1, 2, and back to that march in the centre. Well done, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Deborah and her crew there over in Walsingham. We are going to jet straight across. We're over to Liz at her house and we're joined by her mum.
Well, I think walking is very good for you, and sitting on a chair, doing some exercises, laying on the floor, doing some leg exercises. I think just to keep yourself agile all the time, particularly my age, you need to keep yourself going.
So whilst you've got the kettle on, boiling, or you've put a meal in the microwave, you can have a go at doing some sort of movement, some sort of exercises. So we're going to start with a little bit of strength. So all we're going to do is hold on, feet hip distance apart, little bend in those knees and bring it back up. So what I would suggest to you is you have a go at these. You start with about 5. And then you can build up and do a few more if you want to. So this is just about working big muscles in the legs. Because we're stood up, we're working all of the body as well. That's it. So I've done a few more than 5 there. I'm going to do one more, okay? You all right there? Yeah. Fab, okay. So I'm going to turn and face my worktop here now. So all I'm going to do is look at just putting my chest towards the surface and then back up. So again, this is just about working your upper body, but again, because we're stood up, we are working all of our body. Fab. Again, start with a few, build up. If you think about it, you could write them down so that you know where you are. You can go, right, I've done 5 this week. I'll do 10 next week, or I'll build up to 6 tomorrow. And let's stop that there, fab. Brilliant, okay. So let's turn around again, place one hand on the surface. I'm gonna do a little lunge this time. So we're gonna take a step forward. Brilliant, and then a step back, change to the other leg. So you can go, keep going on one side, or you can alternate your legs. But again, think about counting. Think about writing it down, and then you've got something that you can keep challenging yourself with. And then we're thinking, has that kettle boiled yet? Is it time for our cup of tea? Excellent, we're keeping tall, tummies are in. That's great, how's that feeling, Mum? All right, good, good. I'm sure Mum will be going home and doing these in her kitchen all of the time now. We'll do one more each side. Okay? Excellent, okay. Let's take these legs a little bit wider this time. So now, again, we're just gonna take a squat down, but we're pushing those knees over the toes and we're trying to keep our body nice and tall. There's another variation on that squat, but we're bringing in these bottom muscles as well. So a big squeeze as we come up to the top. Brilliant. And smile. Smile. Yeah. Excellent. A few more of these. When you've had enough, just have a little rest. Join in again when you can. Couple more. I'm going to make this the last one, and then I'm sure that kettle's boiled. It's cup of tea time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Liz and her mum there. Right, we are going to go across to Wednesday's episode, and on Wednesday we were with Liz and she was at the Abbey Leisure Centre.
Well, at home I tend to try and walk a little way each day. It's a bit difficult and getting harder, but it doesn't matter, I still try. I can still do a kilometre. I've always kept fit, I've always done exercises of one kind or another. I used to swim, play badminton in my lunch hour, things like that.
All right, so you're going to start with your head, start taking your head from side to side. And then up and down. And then side to side again. and then up and down. And then if you bring your hands down by your sides, you're going to reach over, try and touch the floor. So do a little side bend, and then back up again, and then other side, and then back, other side. So what we have to do, we have to try to get you to move your spine 4 ways every day. So that's the first way, that's sideways. So if you bring your arms forward for rotation, and then slowly rotate round, and then back to the center, and then rotate round, and back to the center, and again rotate round, back to the center, and rotate round, and then back to the center again. And then if you fold your arms, and then what you're going to do, you're going to start making small circles with your elbows. And then just imagine that you're canoeing, start making bigger circles. And then if you bring your arms down by your sides again, if you bring your left leg forward and try and touch your left foot. And then come up again, bring your right leg forward, try and touch the right foot. And then up again. And then this time bring your left leg forward and try and touch your left foot with your right hand. And then back up again. And then change sides, so left hand onto right foot. And then back up again. And then what you're going to do, bring your knees up as high as you can. So marching on the spot. And then what you're going to do, you're going to either touch the opposite knee with the opposite hand by bringing the knee across, or try and touch the opposite foot with the opposite hand. And then you're going to start tapping your feet as if you were jogging on the spot. And then you're going to go a little bit faster as if you were sprinting on the spot. Then you're going to slow it down a little bit, and as you're tapping your feet, start punching in the air. So try not to now, try and get your left leg and your right arm working together. And then if you can, stand up. If you can't, keep sitting down. If you can't stand up, bring your knees up as high as you can, and then sit back down again. So when you just want to stand up and then sit back down, and then stand back up again, sit back down again. So these are squats. Otherwise, if you can't stand up, bring your knees up, and then one more time, stand up, and then sit back down again, and then sprint for 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly jog it out. And then your last one, and sprint. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and have a drink.
Some fantastic movements there, and so easy to follow along with. Right, we're going to jet straight back across to Liz. We're back over with her over in Pity Me.
I used to, well, I still do like walking. I used to go to Keep Fit for ordinary Keep Fit, but now I go to this Keep Fit, which I'm sure helps. I think the sprinting is good, really. So I wouldn't do it on my own, whereas I'll do it in class. So it's okay, it's good.
So we'll just think about getting into a good position to start with. So we're just going to rock from side to side. So side to side on your bottom cheeks, and then you just need to bring it back in so you sat comfortably, so you sort of, your weight's evenly distributed. And then thinking about your legs, your hip bones in line with your knee, and then your knee in line with your ankles. I'm just going to shuffle my feet out a little bit there. Okay, so now just think about breathing. We're going to breathe in through the nose, and then a breath out through the mouth. And we'll just do that a couple more times. So we're just conscious of that breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Brilliant, just one more of these. And you just continue breathing, naturally breathing evenly like that. And we'll take the shoulders up to the ears. We're going to take a big squeeze together of those shoulder blades, and then we're just going to release those arms back down. We're going to do that again. We're going to squeeze up, squeeze the shoulder blades together and release. And as we do this, just think that there's a little bit of string on top of your head, and that's just going to lengthen that spine. So we're just going to keep that body nice and long. Another couple of these. You'll feel that through the top of the back, through those shoulders, just mobilizing through that upper body. That's brilliant. So you're still breathing. Okay, let's think about connecting the brain to the feet. We're going to lift the toes off the floor, spread those toes out, and then place the foot back down on the floor. And we'll do it with the other leg. We're going to lift. I'm going to show you with my hand. Lift, spread the toes out, place that foot back down, and again, change to the other side. Lift, spread those toes out, place the foot down. This is just getting our brains working. So now they're having to think, right, we need to work those feet, work those toes. Let's just do one more each side. So these you can do at any time of the day. Anytime you feel like having a sit down, just doing this little bit of movement, it's going to help with that connectivity. Release that down. That's brilliant. Check that breathing. Okay, so still sat nice and tall, remember. We're going to push up onto the toes of one foot. So we're going to lift the heel off the floor and then release that back down. And then we're changing to the other side. So whilst you're doing this, think about having a tight t-shirt on and just pull those tummy muscles away from your tight t-shirt and just try and hold them there. And just keep that breathing pattern going if you can. So again, lifting one heel, releasing back down, and the other one, and release. Let's do one more each side. So lift, you'll feel this in those calf muscles, and lift. Brilliant. Well done. Thank you.
And that's it for today's show. Well done if you've managed to go through all those exercises from Monday through to Thursday. Thank you so much to Deborah and her team. I've got Liz there, and of course Liz's mum. Thank you so much for joining us on Move Durham. That's it for the show. We have, of course, all of our content online, and you can find it on our social media pages to join back in again. We'll see you soon.